On our screen, we have the eFORMz Composer. The eFORMz Composer is the design tool of Minisoft's eFORMz. You'll use it to build forms, reports, emails, labels, or anything else that you intend on outputting with eFORMz. So before you begin to use the Composer, it might be a good idea to get a general feel of the user interface. So what we are going to put together here is a nice little tour of the Composer, and real briefly looking at the various window panes. As you can see, the Composer consists of a window pane here on the left, and we call this the project window. It has a small one directly below that called the variables window, and then most of the Composer consists of a large window pane called the viewer, and the viewer itself has two panes. So let's go ahead and explain what's going on here. In the upper left here in the project window, you'll see we have sort of a tree, an outline if you will, of various things. And at the top is the project, and then we have a page followed by the form. And the form is where you'll do most of the changes or work. And it has a variable right here, and it has a rule. So the project window then basically consists of all the customized changes being implemented to your project. So you can add variables and rules, and they'll show up over here in the project window. It's your outline. Below that we have the variables window, and although it's the smallest window pane in the Composer, it may be the most useful, especially if you're using databases. It can be very useful because the variables window shows you down here in the lower left hand corner what your variables are and what data they contain, which is very, very important. And we see we have one variable, it's called company name, and the value, and the data or information that it's picking up is Minisoft Inc. So it's a very useful little window. And over here to the right of that we have the viewer, and this is where most of the action happens. In the top pane of the viewer we see the application software output file, or your data. All the data that's coming from your application software that you output, eFORMz uses that as input. So eFORMz is a post-processing application, if you will, and we take that output using it as input, and it's up here in the top pane. You see we have the data coming in, and this is just your raw data. And eFORMz can edit a variety of raw files, of course XML, Zebra, a variety of input types. It also supports a variety of output types as well. But directly below that top pane, in the bottom pane of the viewer, this is the merged look, which is kind of what we like to call it, and also we like to call it the form and data viewer, because it shows you the form and the data merged together. So it'll also show you your variables and rules and barcodes, images, all of that. Whatever you've placed on a form, it's going to show up in this bottom viewer here.